All right. Ira with Warchant.
Hey, Coach, what did just having some? It seemed like you actually had some depth this spring. You had like 3 full offensive lines. You had more bodies to work with. What did that do for you, and how good was it for some of those young guys to get this experience in the spring?
Even though we had more bodies, but we were able still to get a bunch of reps. Which those young guys got a bunch of reps. Guys like Estes who need a bunch of reps, and guys have been in the program, Dorado, or the new guys, Kanaya, Daughtry. Getting all those guys to get maximum reps was good, and then they lasted. We got all 15 practices out of them, which was really good. And so just having that depth and competition always adds a lot of value and just more confidence. To be honest, they feel more confident what they're doing and learning what we're asking them to do.
Ben Meyerson with Tomahawk Nation.
Hey, Coach, just talking a little bit more about competition and depth. Will you and the team be aggressive in the transfer portal over the summer? And I know you guys have used that before, but how much do you guys look into it, and even this time of the year?
I don't think the term is aggressive. We're always trying to just add value to our team as best way. Talk about talent acquisition. So we've always believed in high school recruiting. That's what we targeted the most, what we meet about the most. And the portal just become an option to number one, add them some more experience and kind of plug in some places where you need some older guys. But I wouldn't say aggressive. Is just more finding the best available to help our football team.
Brendan.
Hi, Alex. Following up on Ben's question, for quarterbacks, you have 3 scholarship QBs right now. From just like a roster composition standpoint, would you guys ideally like 4, or are you comfortable with 3 scholarship QBs? And then secondly, can you just kind of go over the quarterback room and what you saw from those guys this spring?
Yeah, I think we're definitely really comfortable with the guys we had going through the quarterback room. We have belief in all 3, and even starting the youngest with throwing a guy in there like AJ and just giving him the whole playbook and not holding anything back and watching him operate was good. You got to remember, he just got here. He should be at the prom or an English 4, and he's already picking up the playbook, which is awesome. And then you got a guy like Tate who's in a true progression of quarterback play, where he's going into his really second season of full work at the quarterback position, so he's able to develop right on time. And then you got a guy like Jordan who's really now hit that last drive where he still has 2 years left and still progressing as high as he can. He probably could even do another one, but it's just more like it's that true progression of that stagger of what you want to have as you're developing those guys to be the best they can be. So I think we're very comfortable with the room, and I'm very pleased in their progression. I'm even watching the last practice, how those guys attacked it, and we even threw some more new things at them just to kind of hey, this is the last day. Are we still going to do some install, still put some things on them? And they responded well. So I've been pleased with those 3 guys.
Chris Neat.
Alex, how is Thomas Schrader coming along, and what do you hope to get out of him as he gets more back to normal rep counts and such?
I'm gonna give Thomas a special shout out. Thomas had a really rough injury, and for him, I'll give a story. He had surgery and he got operated on last spring, and he was in our position meeting the very next day after surgery. I had to basically kick him out. He has not missed a meeting throughout this entire process. And every meeting in the morning during the season, anytime we had a meeting, he was there. So what I love about Thomas is he has a tough mentality, tough mindset. And that's why he's able. That's why, when you hear Coach talk about him, we light up, and Coach talks about how much he wants him to be successful, because he puts in everything he can control. He's controlled, unbelievably. And I want to give him a special shout out on that, because a lot of people, we talk about rehab and things, but he hadn't missed a meeting. He's been, he answers questions. He mentors the young guys. So, he's a guy that, he was in there taking reps. And so every rep he's taking is really just a pleasure to see. But Thomas will be fine. He'll help us. And I like the way he's attacking his rehab.
Tommy Meyer.
Hey, Coach. Moving past spring, what's the plan with players communicating as far as like with the staff, workouts and nutrition and planning training? Like, what's the plan going on past that?
Oh yeah, well, so they're actually still in a regular normal work week right now. They're going to complete that week, and then we're going into kind of the last, into finals and things like that with school. So we're going to give them that discretionary period where we'll have hours where they can come in and work out and have that option. But also a part of it is recovery. We want them, we got some good work in. We banged quite a bit. It's a real physical spring, so we want them to heal, get back. And Coach Storms has a great plan of progression as they make their way back to the rest of the summer workout. So I think it's a good progression of now getting into recovery and still working out. But the biggest thing I'm pleased our team is when we brought them up at the last practice, they were already getting together, discussing plans to get together and kind of motivate themselves. You know, I've heard some great coaches say once players start to defend what you're telling them, meaning whatever you're teaching them, if they're defending that when you're not around, then you see the progression of the team. So I saw that yesterday and I was pleased to see that.
Kurt Wiley.
Hey, Alex. I'm wondering your thoughts on the wide receiver room coming out of spring. Obviously, we saw what Micah and Johnny can bring, but obviously didn't get to see Winston, unfortunately. I was wondering, I don't know, your thoughts on the room, if you would consider maybe adding another one, because I don't know if you have an idea of a timetable for Winston.
We'll give a special shout out to Winston because even though he went through that unfortunate incident, he still didn't miss a beat academically. You know, I saw him down and he was here yesterday in good spirits, good positive kid, because a lot of people can go the opposite way when things like that unfortunate happen, especially coming to a new place. So, you know, I give props to our team, our teammates, and a lot of people that kept him encouraged. So I feel fired up that Winston, you know, can help us, you know, and I like where his mindset is and I feel confident in that. As far as the totality of the room, I've been very optimistically pleased just because like I knew what it was going to be. I'm glad it got to showcase in those flash moments. You know, everybody's focused on the new guys with Johnny and Micah and Deuce and things like that because those are the new, you know, like they said, the new toys. You know, everybody wants to say, "Oh man, I can't wait to watch those guys evaluate it." I knew that we knew as a staff they were going to fit right in. We knew they were good people, good kids. I mean, you know, I don't say good kids, good players, and I knew that was going to be a positive experience. But the guys that, you know, like Malik, had a really good spring. He really showcased himself. The guys that were already in that room, Ja'Kai Douglas, you know, he's came up and stepped up a lot this spring and made some plays even last season. Like he's been a force and competitor with Keyshawn, you know, still battling out there and going through what he went through to get back to his full recovery and now, you know, progressing forward. So I've been pleased with it. And then you got Pokey who just, you know, he still is lighting it up. You know, he still has those flash moments. So I've enjoyed not only the new guys progressing into the room, but the other guys stepping up and saying, all right, you know, not only welcoming them to make it a unit, you know, but still competing, you know, to go get the ball. So I've been just the totality of that room. I've been really pleased to watch, and it's been fun to watch.
Brendan.
During the spring game, we got to see a lot of explosive runs from a variety of running backs, and I guess we saw that quite a bit in practice as well, Alex. What have you seen from the ground game, both with the running backs, the offensive line opening up, perimeter blocking this spring that you like? And I guess what are things that you guys want to work on and fine tune in the offseason here?
I give Coach Storms a shout out because like as Coach Storms and nutritionists, all of them just a lot of credit because like you got like LT coming in running harder, looking like a more physical back. He doesn't look like the skinny guy out there playing running back anymore. He's thick. He's running hard, looking good. T. Ward looking thick. I mean, those guys. What you're seeing is the speed. DJ Williams broke out quite a few times. Trey Benson, you know, we knew what that was. So what I like about that room is I'm watching develop and watching inform is that they look faster, they look stronger, they look, you know, more confident. So you're just seeing time with consistency of the growth that you need to see when that's in place. So, you know, I'm really excited for that room.
Ben.
Hey, Coach, I remember last time we talked after the scrimmage, we talked a lot about leadership. You mentioned a few guys like Keyshawn, Dylan, Trayshawn Ward. I was just wondering if there's any other names that have kind of stood out to you in that regard, and maybe if there's a story that you remember from this spring, and whether it be in the meetings or off the field or just anything like that.
There's different types of leadership, you know, and we talk about leader, usually everybody points to the guy that's the most vocal or brings everybody up and gives speeches when they break it down, or whoever breaks it down when you're going from drill to drill. I want to give a shout out to the leaders that I know, you know, I won't call out too many names, but guys that are being leaders outside of the building, you know, holding guys accountable, whether it be going into their rooms and making sure they're doing everything, you know, outside of the football program to help themselves and taking a personal, you know, involvement in other players' lives and having those conversations with them, you know, and that's what I've been really pleased with. Like I give a shout out to a guy like Maurice Smith, who has I see him take time to go walk into other guys' rooms, Lloyd Willis's, the Darius White, like he goes and he motivates those guys without ever saying a word out in the public on the field, but he's doing a good job behind the scenes of really, you know, doing it with Trayshawn Ward, who, you know, has a strong voice and when he talks, people listen to him. And of course, you know, everybody goes with leadership of the quarterback, but I always go back to Jordan Travis because I see how those guys react to them when he's jumping in group text, when he's, having those conversations with them outside of everything else. So, as far as an offensive standpoint, those guys have really taken a role to challenge their teammates, to challenge the people in the room to be better without looking for the hoorah of, or I am the leader of the room. So that type of leadership, it really sets the tone of what we can be. And really, we listen to our peers. When our peers challenge us, you usually respond because authority is supposed to challenge you, but when your peer challenges you and say, man, you're not on your game, there's some things you can be doing better, now you're cooking with something.
Bob Fronte.
Hey, Coach, I'm curious, among the tight ends, who do you consider to be your best blocker right now? And then also maybe who's kind of developed out of that room in your view over the spring?
I like when you say best blocker. But here's what I say about the tight end. Blocking is not an option. They all are required to do it. Now, some, might block at other positions better than others, but they're all going to be adequate and elite blockers. That just comes with the position. But that's a group that I don't get to talk about a lot because we're spoiled. When I say spoiled, meaning they've been consistent for us, not only, on the field, but off the field. Like Cam McDonald's been a steady rock. He's made some big time plays, big time catches. And that's also another guy that in leadership who goes behind the scenes to maximize and motivate guys. And I don't give Cam enough credit. And then you got like Preston and Jackson West, the young guys growing up. Brian Cole came in and picked it all up. We didn't leave him nothing out there. So that room, and even wide, battling out there. So that room doesn't get enough credit because they're always doing what they're supposed to do, where they're supposed to be. They do what we ask them. There's a lot of roles they play in the offense. So, I gotta say a lot more about that position group just because, I'm used to them doing the right thing.
Kurt.
You talked about the running back room. I know Trey Benson's a guy who y'all were careful with coming off that injury this spring. I'm just not putting too much on him. And you saw Saturday what he can do with kind of a relatively light load. How excited are you to see him come the fall? Maybe if the training wheels are able to come off a little more, what he's able to do then?
Yeah, I mean, Yak must have had some special training wheels because I didn't see much training wheels on him when we was at practice. He was in there mixing it up pretty much as I saw it, But no, Trey's a kid that you got to make him slow down. You got to make him do. Now he had a different deal, but like you have to tell him to stop. You have to almost protect him from himself because he loves to play. He loves to carry the football, and I'll give him credit because he had some adverse moments. We challenged him on some things, and he's really responded. Even from carrying the football to how we do things to just a different style and approach of how we do it here. And he's been open arms, loving it. And it feels like he's already been here for a while. It's like he fits right in. Like you don't go out there and he's different from the group. So, anytime you got a player that always wants to go and you have to protect them from themselves, that's a good problem to have.
Aslan.
Hey, Coach, it's been a while for Caden, but I know he did play some guard when he first started playing college football. Is he a guy that could factor in at all to playing on the interior other than center at a guard spot?
Oh, there's no choice in our position group. We're always going to have the top 7 or 8 guys that have played multiple positions. Very, very rarely do you have an only position. So no, all that top 7 or 8 guys that we'll use to run out there on the field will be multiple position guys.
Austin Cox.
Hey, Coach, hope you're doing well. Just wanted to ask you about Jordan Travis, kind of specifically. How much of an advantage is it for the offense to have an experienced quarterback returning that started last year, particularly in these months between the spring and fall camp?
You at the golf course? Where you at?
Oh, could you guys not hear me? Or?
No, I said, where you at? Like I'm looking.
Oh yeah. Just at my sister's house. She actually lives off of the golf course.
Oh. Must be nice. All right, say your question.
Oh, yeah.
I'm at work. Go ahead, say it again.
Oh, just with Jordan Travis, how much of an advantage of it is it for him, having him an experienced quarterback returning just for the whole offense?
Everything.
Having a leader like that.
Everything. That position is vital, and I mean, that's every level of this game. That position is always better when you have consistency in that position. And we're reaping the benefits of having Jordan Travis. So we're fired up about him. As you can probably tell, we're in full support of him. So yeah, the consistency you show, and not only just because it's to say things, because what he's done, you know, it shows, you know, how that's why the team rides for him the way they do. So now Jordan's he's a real one. He's a real dude, real teammate. They love him. They support him when he walks in the huddle. Like, you know, when he called a huddle and we call a play, those guys wait for Jordan to say the play again. It's not like they just go because they want to hear from him too. He might repeat what the coach just said or what I just said, but they wait for him to say it. And even when I started seeing that, I knew that, you know, let's let them go. Let's let them go run it. You know, it's not the Mike Norvell, Alex Atkins, Florida State offense. It's, you know, it's going to be the Jordan Travis offense.
Ben Myerson.
Hey, Coach, with all the different receivers you guys have, the new guys you've brought in who range from guys like Micah Pittman to Johnny Wilson, you know, to have that group of guys who do all kinds of different things, are all different kinds of shapes and sizes, how creative can you guys be in your offensive planning? And, you know, how much does it give you and Mike Norvell the ability to try out different things and kind of try and plan for different things schematically?
The philosophy of the offense, it's put players in the best position that they to concede or see success. So whatever they do well, make sure we put that in that position as many times as possible so they can showcase their talent. You know, and that's the entire philosophy. If you listen to Coach Norvell talk about it, if you listen to every coordinator that has worked under Coach Norvell, they all preach the same message because it instilled that, like, that's what it is. We're going to find what you do well. We're going to work at what you don't do well. Can't just be a one-sided guy, but what you do well, you're going to be able to showcase that as many times as we possibly can showcase it. You know, so that speaks volumes to the success that not only Mike Norvell has had, but other people who have worked under him and came after the success they've had. You know, shows that, you know, the system is built to showcase talent.
Aslan.
Whether it's running lanes or throwing lanes, you guys as an offensive staff, are you able to get a really accurate picture of how things will look when Jordan Travis doesn't have a green jersey? And just how do you guys kind of grade how your offense looks when you know the defense realizes they can't touch him, and how much different that is when he is live?
Yeah, that's more for the outside looking. Like, for example, pretty much when we watch plays, the result of the play is fun. We all like to, you know, get yards, score points and things like that. But we're dissecting it so much deeper. You know, a lot of times when I'm in my position room watching with the O-line, I don't even speak on the result of the play. You know, we got 5 guys out there and 4 of them did the wrong thing and the running back still found the crease and got 60 yards. Of course, we're clapping, but there's a lot of things to be corrected. So, you know, what we're looking at is the execution of what we're asking for and making sure we put them in the right position. Now, the result will be the result. The result will come throughout that process, and we'll be able to celebrate the results. But we got to focus on the consistency of doing the right and correct thing more, and the results will come more than really focusing on, let's get this result. Like, this is the path to get the result. So whether it be your left elbow, whether it be where your eyes are, whether it be the what if questions, what if this guy came up, or what if they shift. So it's more of putting them in challenging situations to get some consistencies more than it is, you know, focusing on the result at the moment.
Last one for Aslan.
And just for the center position, I mean, I don't know how many teams you guys go against, how often, you know, they're going to put a guy directly over the center, like at a zero tech, but is it imperative for Maurice to gain weight this offseason, or do you feel that he's totally capable of what you guys need to do to be effective at his current weight?
Maurice came in and he came into a situation where he came in as a freshman offensive lineman and played. He was the start. I think he played guard against Arizona State in 2019, his first year in college football. And then the next year he goes to where he doesn't have an offseason at all. And then he just really completed his first full offseason. I think not only just Maurice, but as a totality, if you look at the guys at that position who've been here, the development has been accelerated now because we have the time and the consistency. So I fully believe no matter it be weight, strength, knowledge of the offense, all that is packaged into a deal of consistent direction. So yes, Mo has a lot of things to get better on, and that's included in it. But as a totality, you know, all of them stronger, weight, what they're made of. Because some people just talk about weight. You got to be what you're made of. What is the weight? You know, we can get them weight, but you know, what is that weight? So it's doing things the right, correct way. And yes, you know, Maurice, Darius, you know, Bless, Lloyd, all those guys have a threshold of things they have to get corrected outside of the field. And I think they all are capable, and I look forward to seeing them progress in those areas.
Okay, thanks, Coach.